According to a new Gallup poll, President Obama's approval ratings on immigration has plummeted to a dismal 31%. Among the GOP, that number drops to a mere 8%, and it's not hard to see why. There's a certain degree of doubt the vice president's meeting with Central American leaders today or the president's call with the Mexican president last night will result in any real action on border security down in South Texas. Well, local lawmakers and border governors in particular, they don't seem to be waiting to find out. Texas Governor Rick Perry announced this week that his state will be allocating $1.3 million each week through the end of the year to bolster law enforcement efforts on the border. In a statement about the initiative, the governor said, Texas can't afford to wait for Washington to act on this crisis, and we will not sit idly by while the safety and security of our citizens are threatened. Until the federal government recognizes the danger it's putting our citizens in, Texas law enforcement must do everything they can to keep our citizens and communities safe. Our very own Sara Carter spent several days this week on the Texas border reporting for TheBlaze, and she is our guest for tonight's Q&A. Hi, Sara.
Hi.
So, as I just said, you just came back from spending several days down on the border. You were with Border Patrol agents down in the McAllen area, and you saw firsthand the absolute utter chaos that is going on down there.
Yeah, it's really disheartening, and it's unfortunate that it's not being covered to a greater extent in the national media. There are some very serious national security issues. We're looking at about, just in the Rio Grande Valley sector alone, over 35,000 people coming into the United States every month.
And we're showing some pictures that you took from that area down there.
You can see right over there, and not only just the regular border crossers, which we've been seeing, throughout the years, but undocumented children, family units who are coming from Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala, and while they're coming into certain areas and they're flooding particular areas, over 1,000 a day, our resources within the Texas law enforcement, within the Border Patrol, are all focused in on one area, leaving the other areas wide open so that drug smugglers, the cartels are using this to their advantage. They're moving in contraband. They're moving in other people that we might not want to know about into the United States. We've got communities overrun by illegal immigrants that are in people's backyards trying to put water into jugs or trying to get from point A to point B. It's incredible what I got to see down there.
You and I have dealt with the issues on the border for many years. I've been down there. We have relationships with Border Patrol agents. I know what they're telling me, but you were there. What is the morale like there? Because I've heard from more than one person that they are so fed up. You've got Border Patrol agents that are going out going to their trucks and getting their toys for their own children to help take care of these kids. They're making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because they can't feed them. They're so overrun, and they're fed up because they're trying to do their jobs, and the federal government is undermining them at every pass.
Well, let me tell you, this is more than just them having to sacrifice, some of their toys of their children and their time babysitting these children.
The integrity of our Border Patrol agents.
Yes.
At least they're doing
they're good people, and they're doing their job. What is a problem for them is that they're bringing in a lot of people who haven't been medically screened. There's no stopgap at the border. I've been talking to health officials there. They have people in the facilities that have tested positive for multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. They have infectious diarrhea. They have all kinds of diseases, scabies. They have chicken pox. They're seeing outbreaks of other diseases inside the facilities. And the Border Patrol agents are the ones doing the medical screenings. There's nobody there to screen them. So if they see somebody who has maybe bumps or somebody who looks like they're sick, they might send them off to a doctor. But for the rest of the people who are in the facility, they're being sent across the United States to other holding facilities, and most of them are not getting medically screened. Only the undocumented children after 72 hours.
We heard that DHS Secretary Jay Johnson is down at one of these facilities, and the guys on the ground know that this is just about politics. He's just there to make it look like it's a facade, to make it look like we're concerned. We're going to see what we can do about this. And it's my understanding that there was a photo op of the secretary hugging one of the migrant illegal alien children there.
Yeah, I did. I got contacted by some of the Border Patrol agents who told me that Secretary Jay Johnson for DHS was visiting the McAllen sector. They're opening a new facility in early July just to handle the overflow of people coming in through the Rio Grande. And they did say that they saw him hugging one of the migrant kids. I don't know if that photo is going to come out in the public or not, but I think there's an enormous frustration that they're not focusing on the issues of national security and also health issues that are going to be potentially very harmful to the country.
Well, I can tell you that putting the National Guard back on the border, like I've said, is something that we absolutely need to do, but we can't do it in a way that they're construction foremen like they were last time. They need to have a little bit more of a stronger role and stronger presence, because if we don't send a message, just like Rick Perry said, we've got to do something, because the administration's not doing it, telling them not to come. I don't care what Joe Biden's doing down there in Central America. They're not there. It's a nod and a wink. They're not telling them not to come. So we'll stay on this. We got to wrap it up. But Sarah, thank you so much for your reporting on this. Sarah will have even more details.